Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I think it's been like a day or two since I posted anything, so we're gonna try again. I've been super busy, so sorry about that. I recently found out that I'm bipolar and I'm gonna be starting medication and all of that, so that's why I haven't been on. I've just been super busy, but today we're gonna read chapters 32 to 34, possibly to 35. And we're going to read about Esau and Jacob and all of them still. So here we go. Chapter 32, Preparing to Meet Esau. Jacob went on his way, and God's angels met him. When he saw them, Jacob said, "This is God's camp." So he called that place Mahanaim. Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother Esau in the land of Seir, the territory of Edom. He commanded them, "You are to say, 'My lord Esau, this is what your servant Jacob says. I have been staying with Laban and have been delayed until now. I have oxen, donkeys, flocks, male and female slaves. I have sent this message to inform my lord in order to seek your favor." When the messengers returned to Jacob, they said, "We went to your brother Esau. He is coming to meet you, and he has 400 men with him." Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed. He divided the people with him into two camps, along with the flocks, herd, and camels. He thought, if Esau comes to one camp and attacks it, the remaining one can escape. Then Jacob said, "God of my father Abraham and God of my father Isaac, the Lord who said to me, 'I will cause you to prosper,' I am unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown your servant. Indeed, I crossed over the Jordan with my staff, and now I have become two camps. Please rescue me from my other brother Esau, for I am afraid of him. Otherwise he may come and attack me, the mothers and their children. You have said, 'I will cause you to prosper, and I will make offspring like the sand of the sea, too numerous to be counted.'" He spent the night there and took part of what he had brought with him as a gift for his brother: 200 female goats, 20 males, 200 ewes, 20 rams, 30 milk camels with their young, 40 cows, 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys, and 10 male donkeys. He entrusted them to his slaves as separate herds and said to them, "Go on ahead of me and leave some distance between the herds." And he told the first one, "When my brother Esau meets you and asks, 'Who do you belong to? Where are you going? And whose animals are these ahead of you?' then tell him, 'They belong to your servant Jacob. They are a gift sent from my lord Esau. And look, he is behind us." He also told the second one, the third, and everyone who was walking behind the animals, "Say the same thing to Esau when you find him. You are able to say, 'Look, your servant Jacob is right behind us,' for he thought, 'I want to appease Esau with the gift that is going ahead of me. After that I can face him, and perhaps he will forgive me.'" So the gift was sent on ahead of him while he remained in the camp that night. During the night Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 slave women, and his 11 sons, and crossed the ford of Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream along with all his possessions. Jacob wrestles with God. Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until daybreak. When the man saw that he could not defeat him, he struck Jacob's hip socket as they wrestled and dislocated his hip. Then he said to Jacob, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." "What is your name?" the man asked Jacob. He replied, Your name will no longer be Jacob," he said. "It will be Israel, because you have struggled with God and with men and have prevailed." Then Jacob asked him, "Please tell me your name." But he answered, "Why do you ask my name?" And he blessed him there. Jacob then named the place Peniel, for "I have seen God face to face," he said, "yet my life has been spared." The sun shone on him as he passed by Peniel, limping because of his hip. That is why still today the Israelites don't eat the thigh muscle that is at the hip socket, because he struck Jacob's hip socket at the thigh muscle. Chapter 33. Jacob meets Esau. Now Jacob looked up and saw Esau coming toward him with 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the 2 slave women, and he put the slaves and their children first, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph last. He himself went on ahead and bowed to the ground 7 times until he approached his brother. But Esau ran to meet him, hugged him, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. Then they wept. When Esau looked up and saw the women and children, he asked, "Who are these with you?" He answered, "The children God has graciously given your servant." But the slaves and their children approached him and bowed down. Leah and her children also approached and bowed down, and Joseph and Rachel approached and bowed down. So Esau said, "What do you mean by the whole possession I have met? To find favor with you, my lord," he answered. "I have enough," my brother Esau replied. "Keep what you have." But Jacob said, "No, please. If I have found favor with you, take this gift from me. For indeed I have seen your face, and it is like seeing God's face, since you have accepted me. Please take my present that was brought to you, because God has been gracious to me, and I have everything I need." So Jacob urged him until he accepted. Then Esau said, "Let's move on, and I'll go ahead of you." Jacob replied, "Okay, I'm going to go change your butt. Go lay down. I'm trying to... Okay, I only have like 10 more verses. Go lay down." Then Esau said, "Let's move on, and I'll go ahead of you." Jacob replied, "My Lord knows that the children are weak, and I have nursing flocks and herds. If they are driven hard for one day, the whole herd will die. Let my Lord go ahead of his servant. I will continue on slowly at a pace suited to the livestock and the children until I come to my Lord at Seir." I think that's how you say that. Esau said, "Let me leave some of my people with you." But he replied, "Why do that? Please indulge me, my lord." That day Esau started on his way back to Seir, or Seir, not sure how to say that. But Jacob went to Succoth. He built a house for himself and shelters for his livestock. That is why the place is called Succoth. After Jacob came from Padan Aram, he arrived safely at Shechem in the land of Canaan and camped in front of the city. He purchased a section of the field where he had pitched his tent from the sons of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of silver. And he set up an altar there and called it God, the God of Israel. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 33. We're going to read 34 and 35, I guess, tomorrow, because my kids need to be changed, and I think the youngest one was crying for a few seconds. She's been super cranky today. But I've been watching this girl on YouTube named Chelsea Bedell, and she encouraged everyone today to tell one person that they come across that Jesus loves them, and I encourage you to do it. I did it today at Walmart, and I felt like I was going to cry, and I scurried out of the store after I did it because I wasn't sure how she was going to react or whatnot, but she didn't react bad at all. She just said, "Thank you, have a nice day," back. And then I said, "Jesus loves you. But just do that, because we're supposed to plant little seeds, and if you don't do that, then you're going to be judged for that." I think that's what she said. But in the Bible, it does tell people to plant little seeds of hope of Jesus, because some people might not even know it, but their heart might be screaming for the gospel, she said. So I encourage everyone to do that. Even if you're nervous, it's going to be fine. The least they can say is no or scream at you, but then at least you can say you tried. I doubt someone's going to scream at you, though. People usually just shake their head and say thank you, or some of them will actually start a conversation with you back if they do believe. But I hope everyone has a good day. See you tomorrow. Bye.